Hello everybody and welcome back to DrivesBMW. In today's episode with the Mini Cooper John Cooper Works. They say they have the go-kart feeling, and they do. Let me tell you why. When we look at the front, we'll first of all see that the number plate hasn't been mounted straight, but we also see a huge intake for cooling. If we go a bit closer, you see that this part is completely open, and down here there's cooling as well. Then there are the cooling intakes for the brakes. We see there's another cooler installed here, but there isn't at this side, which is fun. Let's get to the side. We'll see those red calibers. I have to say I love them. And I mean, just look at the car. It looks like, especially with the antenna on the back, looks a little bit like one of these radio controlled racing cars, you know, you used to play with as a child. yeah, I like the car all in all. I like those stripes, and especially I like the blacked out logo. And the air intake on the hood obviously is fake, but still one of the details I like the most. Heading to the back. Let's go from the top to the bottom. You'll see the spoiler. I like it very much. I think that's such a cool feature, but I'm not sure if the car actually takes benefit from it or if it's just design. So these are the tail lights you have to get if you're driving a Mini. Let's have a look at the trunk. As you might guess, the trunk is pretty small. It does come with that double floor to let you store your bags and stuff, and then you can put the seats down easily like that, and then you kind of can store pretty much in it, I have to say. My favorite part in the interior is the fact that you can open up the roof with a button like in an airplane. These ones are for the illumination inside the car, and something I like to do is you can open up the roof completely, and if the sun is too bright you can close the shades like that, but you could also just go in half position like this, or you know, whatever, but since it's raining outside we're gonna keep it closed. Inside the armrest there is a wireless charging pad for your phone and my garage opener, but there isn't more space for much more inside, unfortunately. Underneath is a little storing, but things are gonna fall out if you're driving through the corner a bit too aggressive. And yeah, cup holders. There are 2 USB ports and one of these 12-volt car ports. Glove box isn't too much, but again, it's a Mini, don't expect anything much in here in general. However, I like the manual shifting. They did a great job on that. The steering wheel feels good, it's leather covered. The rest is more or less plastic. A thing that they did great is if you turn the volume, you can see it on the ring going up and down, and you know, it's the details that where they did a great job. And the same goes for the climate control. It feels great, and also how these buttons are made. I like it. That's something Mini always did, and I love the fact that they still are doing it today. All in all, it's a great car. There are a few things that I would change if I could. First of all, the chassis is very, very stiff, and you feel every little stone on your way. Some people are gonna like that, and I also understand, you know, it's the John Cooper works, it's the sportiest of the Minis, and it has to lift that sportiness somehow. On the other side, I still believe on long distances it could, you know, in the comfort setting it might be a little softer. And same goes for the steering wheel. It's pretty hard to turn, and also in the comfort setting, and that's something, of course, you know, car brands always do that to make the car feel sportier, but I have to say I prefer, even in a sport car or especially in a Ferrari and these kinds of cars, you can adjust how soft the turning of the steering is supposed to be, and you can't in the Mini. And from my point of view, you should be able to make it softer if you wish, and you can't. So it's not bad, you get used to it for sure, and you know, it's complaining on a very high level, but that's something I noticed when I first jumped into that car. Luckily the car has that limiter function, so especially on streets like this one, where speed limit is 80, but you like to go fast around the corners, or at least out of the corners, you can say don't go faster than 85, let's say, and the car will stop accelerating once you hit that mark, and that lets you keep your eyes on the road. That's something that I use a lot these days. I would say people who like to drive go-kart, they will like to drive a Mini. But why does it drive like a go-kart? Well, if we look at the car in its profile, you'll see that tires are almost in the edges of the car. So the car ends where the wheels end. And if you compare that to a go-kart, that's actually how the geometry of a go-kart also is built like. So that's not just a marketing claim, it drives like a go-kart, it truly does. But I have to say, for my taste, it doesn't have enough grip in and through corners. I was sliding 2 or 3 times up that road, and in the X3M competition, for instance, we were going up that hill like on rails. So that's something you could improve with parts from the aftermarket probably. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions, and see you back on the next time.